welcome back. It is currently below freezing here in Kansas, and I'm so sorry I have to have this thing running. It is the only thing keeping me warm. The radiant heat is great, but it's not doing anything for any of the extra area in the garage. So I'm just gonna have to talk a little bit louder for you guys. What I need to do now, get the throttle cable hooked up. The stock one just will not work, even though the stock one over there will work. I guess the V6 does have a longer one, but it doesn't matter. I went ahead and got an aftermarket one, so let's go ahead and get that on. I need to adjust the camber caster and actually raise the car about 2 inches or so. That way it's not gonna be rubbing on anything, especially when I'm gonna go drive this thing. The second thing is, I need to actually have the radiator supported a different way. The support they give you back on the Rock Solid Motorsports is just way too low for this radiator itself. So what I'm gonna do is take these two bars and actually insert them so they run the lengthways so the radiator can be supported that way instead of how I have mounted it. The way I have it mounted is that the fan shroud itself is actually supporting all the weight. Well, now the fan shroud has nothing to bolt onto. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get all this going, get the car jacked up, get to pulling on some old measurements, and hopefully this garage warms up, because I am freezing. Why does this thing get plays violent? But I had to switch to the radiant heat. That thing just sucks, honestly. I don't know why I think it's good. I think maybe the BTUs are too low. So I went ahead and got it raised up, probably, I'd say 1.5 inches at least. So now what we're gonna do is try to do a basic camber caster adjustment where we put the wheel on and then we look at it to see if it's sitting straight with the car. If it is, great, and then we measure from the front to the back and try to make sure that both measurements are equal. Alright, I got the tire as close as what I think is going to be in spec on the caster camber side. Let's go ahead and lower it down. Oh yeah, there we go. We got a good inch here, just like in the back. I think the back actually has about 2 inches. Since the back is not on coilovers, I do need to get probably some type of drag springs or lowering springs for the rear. That looks a lot better than what it did. Camber is probably a little bit more than what I'd like. Probably 2.5 degrees. I think that's pretty much what I need to do is max it out. Just to be cautious, but given I'm not driving this thing far, so it just has to be a good basic alignment, okay? Just like this side is completely worse than the other side. So let's go ahead and get this side jacked up, do the same exact thing. That way we can at least move it properly forward and backwards. So I don't know what's going on, but I tried to adjust this side and it's just so close. Like if I tried turning, this is gonna hit the exhaust pipe and it's just not gonna be okay. I pushed it all the way forward and I pushed it all the way back and I adjusted this multiple times. I just have zero clue what's going on over here. I made sure, I was thinking maybe the control arm, maybe it's just the tie rod end is actually pulled too far that way and it's not letting it adjust, say more that way or something of the sort. But something is not happy about this at all. But I guess we'll just leave that alone. We'll put the throttle cable on and then let's go ahead and get this radiator mocked up because I really want to have this thing sitting so I can have the fans on. That way, it'll bleed the system better because it's not going to overheat because there's no fan. I barely got it in, but sure enough, I got it in, got it welded, and I even got the plates welded in the spot where I actually need to put the rubber, say, isolators or whatnot. That way, when it has vibrations from the engine, or just, you know, driving in general, it's not going to actually crack the aluminum, it's not going to crack the metal. The rubber is actually going to be doing all the inflections that I need. So that's good, that's ready. I actually ran right out of gas. I ran out of gas just on the last weld, so I'm super glad that's done. Hopefully I don't have to do any more welding. So now what I can do is go ahead and get this throttle cable finally put on. I've been putting that off for a while. I don't know why, it's been literally just chilling right here for the longest time. So let's go ahead and get that thrown in. It's only 3:30. We're making a really good time right now. So hopefully, because I know the weather is actually dropping, and I think it might be, yeah, it is. Woo! It's cold. It's super cold. Yeah, it's like starting to flurry. It's probably 2 degrees at the moment. And inside the shop, it just feels really lovely, even though, you know, it's smoky because I've been welding, and smoke inhalation and just smoke in your lungs is not good for you. but sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do to warm up our hands, okay? Well, I thought it'd be just so super simple to put the throttle cable on. Turns out, first off, I broke the little C-clip that actually holds it in place on the accelerator pedal. To make it technically work, I need to drill a hole, pin that just to have the other pin sit in place. I think I'm just gonna look around and find a little V6 throttle cable, because the little way we have this thing set up, just a bracket here, and then this whole cable actually just goes inside and just kind of works. Make it look a lot better, more efficient, more clean. But everything else is good. I have the coolant in there. I will wire in the coolant fan tomorrow. It's currently super cold, so I will just pick this in the morning. We'll see ya. While she gets the heater, oh, there it goes, turned on. I went to LKQ earlier. I got a throttle cable. I'm hoping it's the same exact one as this one, and we just hook this up and everything is a-okay, because I'm really excited to actually start driving this. And then all we gotta do is hook up the fan and we're ready to go. I've had this coolant sitting in here overnight. It's playing violin. So the coolant's been sitting here overnight, so hopefully it's kind of bled through and I can start it and it'll probably gurgle a little bit more. But let's go ahead and get this thing on. I'm super excited on this part. I had an old nitrous plate, so I'm using that to actually have it as a bracket, which sits nicely, honestly. So that is all hooked up, ready to go. Now, let's just hook up the fan and get this thing started. Make sure the coolant system works, and then we can fill up the transmission, move it outside, make sure the brakes work, maybe even get it out of the spot. All right, everything's wired up. It's a little messy, in my opinion, because I can't route all this just yet. I just want to make sure everything is working before I just start saying, let's route everything, and then kind of find out one of the wires that I did is not gonna work. But everything else is ready. All I need to do is start it, let it idle, make sure the coolant's good, make sure the coolant temp is good, and then start filling it up with ATF. Check the brakes, make sure those feel good. Let's move it out of the way, nothing's behind it. So this is gonna be one of those moments where if it sinks or swims. So let's get going. Let's go ahead and give it an old crank up. All right, moment of truth. Will you just start up on your own? Coolant temp's at 30, IX at 97. First crank. Woo. Come on, baby girl. I know you're cold. I'm cold. Honestly, might need to get a new battery, but let's go ahead and throw it on the jump pack. Okay. It says 12-1, but that's a lie. Engine crank is on. Now we can finally move this guy out of the way. Now let's go ahead and try to restart it. Hopefully she just kind of fires up. Oh, stay alive. Stay alive, little girl. Oh no. Please stay alive. Oh man. Whoa. She's so bad. Oh, you shut right off. You suck so much. Oh man. All I want to do is back you up out of the driveway, but I want to say there's maybe too much fuel in the system. Maybe just a little bit too much. So I went ahead and called the tuner because A, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'd hate to blow up this $9,000 that I spent on the engine itself, okay guys? It at least starts up and dies. Hopefully you can work off of that. Let's just not end this on a bad note. You guys see these ugly taillights? I hate these taillights, honestly. Hopped on the old marketplace, and yep, I found a set. 150 bucks. That's a deal and a half. I'll take that all day long. Let's just go ahead, take these ugly taillights out, put mine in. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Come on. This is not latched down. The latch is not on there. Maybe it is. Maybe I put the latch back on there. Let's find out. I heard the latch. Maybe I did. Yep. I did put the latch on. It looks so pretty in here. This battery might be junk after trying to start this thing like 60 times. But let's get the old tail lights out and toss the old new ones in. And just like that, tail lights are all looking fancy. Oh man, these new struts are so dang hard. Oh yeah. That's gonna look really nice, especially with the Cobra spoiler to go on this bad boy. And then you guys already know I got the Cobra rear bumper. But if you guys know anybody, or if you guys know someone that does tune with the Holley Terminator X and can at least help me get the startup tune down, so that way I can at least move it in and out of the shop, because I know you guys want to see it, because I want to see it, and I will greatly appreciate it. But I guess I'm on the schedule for February 2nd to have this thing on the dyno. So I guess that's in what, 2 weeks? It's January 17th. So that means the next 2 weeks I gotta button up everything. Gotta make sure this car is working like it should. Full tank of gas. Make sure the plugs are got properly. They should be. And well, you guys notice the 8.8s that have been sitting there. One for the blue car. I guess I can start looking at the blue car a lot more. I'll probably do that probably tonight or tomorrow. Figure out that whole shifting issue. Still don't know what's wrong. But hey, at least it'll have an 8.8 and it's ready to go when we do boost it. And then we do the whole interior swap. Hell, I might even do the interior swap before we can do the getting the transmission to shift. Doesn't make any sense. I know I want to see it running and drive it first before throwing in the interior. But, you know, if I get bored, I'm just going to start doing it. But I know this video wasn't eventful. Let me know if you can help me out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.